Hi, day 3 of my challenge of 100 days of vulnerability or posting. So, I wanted to talk a little bit today about what's happening when expression feels like exposure and kind of what's going on when that feels dangerous or overwhelming or unsafe. So, this happens for a lot of people that have either post-traumatic stress disorder or some type of trauma, or people who are neurodivergent. And I experience both. Some people try to say they're the same thing. They're definitely not. And another day I will get into how and why I know these things are different, how I experience them very differently. A lot of the time we have these very rich inner worlds that can even be overwhelming, but we're very quiet on the outside. Like sometimes, you might think of that stereotypical quiet on the outside, scary on the inside type, but it doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. Anyways, for some of us, it is just so much going on inside that it can be overwhelming, and then it doesn't exactly come out right. For me, my ascendant is Gemini and I have a Sagittarius stellium, so that opposition and all of that stuff going on in my 7th and oppositional house, including Mercury, doesn't always come out the way I want it to. It can be a little overwhelming. I do not just have an inner monologue. I have entire cinematic scenes full of different characters playing out like live action events and circumstances. And I also experience very sensational things, hyper fantasia sometimes. So I can see things very visually, and not just see, but taste, smell, hear the bite of an apple. I can't, some people, they say, like, if you imagine an apple, can you imagine holding an apple in your hand? What does it look like? Can you see it? Can you feel it? Etc. I can imagine feeling the texture of both the skin, the apple, the seeds, the sweetness, the juice on my lips, everything very, very vividly. And this extends to even sometimes things that I don't necessarily care to be experiencing because of the trauma. So, anyways, when there's all of this going on inside of a person, a lot of the time we have to compartmentalize, and we build these folders or nests or baskets or shelves within ourselves, whatever it is, to try to organize our thoughts, memories, feelings, etc. And everybody does to some extent. Not everybody does it consciously, but the idea is being able to go to access and recall and present the appropriate information at the appropriate time, right? Well, when there's so much of it, sometimes it gets a little bit disorganized, and sometimes you just end up saying the wrong thing at the wrong time or whatever, and this can create an additional fear of like, now I've messed up and said the wrong thing at the wrong time, and this can cause someone to avoid making that mistake again. And when you're trying to avoid oversharing or saying the wrong thing, or being rejected for what you've said, that can cause you to keep things in and to block what needs to come out, which ends up being really unhealthy, because now not only is that staying stuck in there, but you're adding to it all of this doubt, these additional thoughts now of, is this person going to say this or think that, or what's going to happen? And these, new scenarios start playing out, and it's just more, and it's building. This again is really unhealthy, because it can actually not just be mentally, emotionally, and socially damaging, which I have certainly experienced, but it can also manifest as physical illness. When people, practice socializing and practice expressing themselves regularly or are more extroverted naturally, it happens with more ease. But for those of us who've been quieter or more hidden, and we're building up these walls, these compartments, and structuring them inside of ourselves and adding more into it that's not being released, it can be very difficult. And again, the overwhelm just compounds as more is added to it. So we can often feel overwhelmed, burnt out, and even shut down. But sometimes, to say the right thing, you need to say the wrong thing first. It's that old adage of just, the only way to make sure that you fail is to not try, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? And that's the kind of point that you have to say the wrong thing first. You have to find your words. You have to feel out the situation. It's something that isn't perfect for anyone. Sometimes we tell ourselves that, but it's not. For those of us who want to be of service and share our talents and gifts, there can be this dissonance between wanting to be of service and wanting to help the world, and the difference between that and fearing judgment. We sometimes fear exposure more than we feel brave enough to be of service. But again, that fear doesn't just live in our mental and emotional space. It can manifest physically, which I'll also talk more about some other time. But just briefly, this particular blockage can really manifest in the sacral chakra, the solar plexus, and in the throat chakra, and it can actually create illness. It created illness in myself that I'm having to heal. And when those areas are blocked, it then becomes even harder to create, act, and speak out. So, first and foremost, you have to do it for yourself. You have to let those emotions and whatever those ideas are be free and direct them wherever. Even if it goes in the wrong place, just let it out. And eventually, you get better at it, especially when we want or feel called to be of service, to give something uplifting or insightful to others and help them go through things or come out of things that we've gone through and had to come out of, things that we've had to learn through experience how to overcome. So showing up for ourselves and others to do that allows you to clear that. So sometimes the most honest way that we can be of service is simply showing up, even in that fear of, what if I say the wrong thing? Because when it's coming from the right place, people are going to see that and people are going to know that. People who need it will feel and see and appreciate your intention and where it's coming from, even if the words weren't just right, or whatever it is, even if the product was not perfect. Your showing up and your intention was powerful, is powerful. It is very powerful. So whenever you're learning to access your truth in better ways. So showing up can help both you, because you're gaining that practice, and other people because they're seeing you put it in practice. You will get better at organizing your containers and at accessing what you need at the right time. So that's what this is for me showing up anyways. That's why I'm calling this a vulnerability challenge, because expressing ourselves can sometimes feel like exposing ourselves to pain. But as Brene Brown said, there is power in vulnerability. So for me, I feel like it's worth trying. And if there's something that you want to get off your chest, please feel free to share it. in a letter or a journal. If you need to write it down somewhere private, just get it out. Don't hold it inside of you. I promise it'll hurt much worse if you hold it in than if you just put it somewhere safe. And if you feel safe enough to put it in the comments, feel free to do that. And as I've said before, when your intentions are good, I think that the universe and people will recognize it, and I will be here for you. If you want to follow along with me, feel free. Sending love until next time.